All right. Committee will come to order. At the conclusion of opening statements yesterday, the chair called up H.R. 805, .com Act of 2015, and the bill was open for amendment at any point. Are there any bipartisan amendments to the bill? Seeing none, are there any other amendments to the bill? Chair would recognize the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Shimkus.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do believe this is probably a bipartisan amendment since it was suggested by the administration that we change the language from implemented.
Shimkus Obama. That's what this is, right? The Illinois connection.
You really want me to
No,
lose
all right.
my reelection,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
Does this include TAA?
Gentlemen, the clerk will report the title of the amendment.
Amendment to the committee print of H.R. 805 offered by Mr. Shimkus of Illinois.
And the amendment will be considered as read. Gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As I said, it just changes the word from that currently is implemented, strikes that word, and inserts the word adopted. I would just note out of fun that we just got the release from the Mr. Strickland, who's the head of NTIA, and in his written statement, he uses the word implemented 3 times. So where he asked us to change the language to adopted, in his release statement, he uses the word implemented. I'm going to read it. It's just too hard to believe. I hope the community starts to focus on the matter of implementation of its recommendations. Have the issues of implementation been identified and addressed in the proposal so that the community and ICANN can implement the plan and expeditiously as possible once we have reviewed and accepted it. So because of the good work we're doing in a bipartisan manner, we will offer this amendment to change the word, although we hope NTIA also changes its word from implemented to adopted. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Other members wishing to comment on the amendment? Seeing none, the vote occurs on the amendment offered by a gentleman from Illinois. All those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The amendment is adopted. Are there further amendments to the bill?
Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman from...
May I move to
Gentleman's
strike the
recognized
last
for 5
word?
minutes.
Thank you. I want to thank you for your leadership and certainly other members of the committee, Mr. Shimkus, Ms. Eshoo, and Mr. Pallone. This committee has long been committed to oversight of the process of transitioning the IANA functions away from the United States to the international multi-stakeholder community. For us, this means ensuring that there are effective safeguards in place to improve the odds of a successful transition and preserve the Internet we've come to rely upon in so many aspects of our lives. Now, while we recognize and respect the role of the multi-stakeholder community in Internet governance, there too is a role for Congress to play in this transition. Based on feedback from all of our hearings and various stakeholder groups, and through negotiations with our Democratic counterparts, we've come up with this bipartisan piece of legislation that allows for congressional oversight without replacing the process that is in place. For its part, NTIA set forward strong criteria necessary for any successful transition proposal, including a requirement that ICANN improve its accountability to the Internet community. This bill incorporates this effort by requiring NTIA to certify that the criteria have been met and the changes put forth by the multi-stakeholder accountability group are put into place and are enforceable. As I said at our subcommittee markup, Mr. Chairman, I feel this bipartisan legislation presents an alternative to funds limitation if signed into law by the President. Now, through this bill, we can achieve our shared goal, and that is to prevent harm to the Internet as we know it. An active oversight role for Congress adds another guardrail to this very process, and it demonstrates that the United States takes this transition very, very seriously. So I thank my Democratic colleagues, my Republican colleagues for working with us, and certainly Mr. Shimkus for his tireless and thoughtful work on this issue for the last year. And I urge all to support this legislation and move it to the House floor. And with that, I return the balance of my time.
Chairman yields back. Other members, other members wishing to strike the last word. General Lady from California is recognized for 5 minutes. Strike the last word.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I want to thank the chairman of our subcommittee, Mr. Walden, yourself, the ranking member of our committee. This is a good bill. It's bipartisan, and I want to thank everyone that was involved in it to make it so. I think importantly, this amended bill provides 30 legislative days for public review of the transition proposal. And I think that that's very important. It'll enhance transparency and accountability. And it reaffirms our commitment to the transition of the IANA functions. So all in all, I think that the work that the subcommittee did and the concerns from both sides are really fully addressed. And I think that this is going to go by voice vote, but I think that speaks to the work that was put in. But it really is a very important bill relative to the position of the United States relative to the internet. So I thank everyone, and I'd be happy to yield to Mr. Pallone.
I thank the gentlewoman. I thank you for your work and reiterate what you said and what my colleagues on the Republican side said. I just wanted to pay special attention to what Mr. Walden said about our approach in this .com Act being far better as an alternative to blocking NTIA's ability to implement the transition through an appropriations bill. I think that's a very important point that we need to reiterate. And with that, I would yield back.
Gentleman yields back. I just want to say that I appreciate the hard work by members on both sides, Ms. Eshoo, Mr. Pallone, Mr. Shimkus, Mr. Walden. With the international conference coming up in the next couple of days, I think this is a very important bill to move out of our committee on what is expected to be a very strong vote and soon to the House floor. So I would urge all my colleagues to support this bipartisan legislation. With that, I yield back. There are further amendments to the bill. There further discussion on the bill. Seeing none, the question now occurs on favorably reporting H.R. 805 as amended to the House. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The ayes have it, and the bill as amended is adopted. Without objection, staff is authorized to make technical and conforming changes to the bill reported by the committee today, so ordered and pursuant to House Rule 1121. All members will be given 2 calendar days to file written and signed views for the bills approved by the committee today, and without objection, the committee stands adjourned.